Bird of Prey 5. El Karuga.
Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird of Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5. Qapla. This is a MedLife update for Independence Day, July 4th, 2023. Yes, I am home. Mama Prey is home. I am home. But technically we're home, but in a more serious way. I am still not yet ready to get back in the swing of things. We are so tired and so drained. I ask you guys to please understand. I love you. Mama Prey loves you. But we can't answer everybody individually. You guys are so great, and I feel so blessed. But 20, 30 people, everyone sending individual messages to myself and to Mama Prey, asking how you doing, updates, sending prayers. The prayers, the well wishes, they are absolutely appreciated. But when I have something to update, I promise you guys, I will update like now. Like now, I'll do an update. I know you're worried. For me, you're worried for Mama Prey. You're scared, baby. I appreciate it. I do. We are just so drained. Not because of you guys, but because of the situation, the dealing with the hospital. We had. It's a complicated. Everything about me, about going to hospital. Going to hospital is not fun for anyone. But for someone in my condition who can't walk, who it's quite painful to move me. Just like to anyone else goes and gets a CAT scan in the hospital, even if you can't walk, it's easy. They put you on the gurney, they bring you to the CAT scan. The CAT scan team puts you on a transfer board. They transfer you onto the table. You go in, you get your CAT scan, you're out. But with me, going on that transfer board was literal torture because the transfer board is by design hard as a rock. And that is extremely painful when it passes when my bed sore passes over it, and particularly when it reaches the end of the transfer board. And I had to explain this to them. I had a total of 3 CAT scans, 3 CAT scans in this hospital stay. And the first one, it wasn't so bad. The second one was absolute horror. And the third, obviously, I was now afraid. So my anxiety was off the charts. But as it turned out, one of the guys who did the first one was there, and he was extremely understanding, and they did a good job. But it takes a lot of extra effort to even be able to get a CAT scan. It takes extra effort to get all types of things. So it's hard, and it's taking time, and we need some more time. We need some more time to rest, to get our energy levels back up, and especially me. Yes, I'm home, but I am not back. So I will, as I can, drop into some videos or live streams. I might not say I'm there because I don't want the conversation to all turn to me, but maybe I'll say hello. But if I do say hello, please just, say hello back, and we keep going. The updates I will do separately, and everyone will get them at the same time. That's just easiest for me, and it's the best, fairest thing. Yes, I'm friends. I'm better friends with some of you than others. It's just a fact of life. It's just the reality of the situation. But I don't want to play favorites. So that's just the way things are going to be. I'm sure, as you can hear in my voice, I am not ready. I do not yet have the energy level that I had before all this started. And thank you guys. I see in the chat, everybody who's here. Captain Fandom Nerd, thank you so much, Captain. Bradley Briggs, Todd Jenny, Indy Tiger. Thank you, Indy. I appreciate it too. Hakeem, John Meyer, thank you. Thank you, guys. Bradley Briggs, I appreciate that, Bradley. Todd says, you are not back, but you are front and center. Thank you. And Deej, I watched a long stream overnight. I fell asleep to it, of you and Cinnabon playing 7 Days to Die. and other JPs, I think, was in it. That was long. It got me to sleep. Thank you. And Todd says he cheated in a space engineer scenario. You brought the Kurogan hydro miner to save his rover. Wow. Thank you. And welcome, JPs. Welcome, guys. So, okay, here's the deal. The hospitalization. They ran a whole bunch of tests. The endoscope, which was the one that I made those videos from on Mamo Praise channel when I was coming out of the sedation. So I don't even know what I said in those shorts, but apparently I uploaded some to Mamo Praise channel because I don't know why. They found that there was no blockages. There's nothing serious. There was a polyp or two that they removed that they'll send for a biopsy, but they were virtually certain that those would not be anything to worry about. They just do it as a matter of course. And so there was no, and then I also had gotten a CAT scan with dye of the abdomen, and they wanted to make sure, because this all started, I was losing my appetite. I was getting feeling very, very sick when I would eat. I really couldn't eat anything for a few days. And they checked. They're like, well, there's no blockage. There's no reason for you not to be eating. They ended up prescribing me a drug, Regulin, that helps people with what they call a slow gut, because that very well might be what I have. It also has anti-nausea, but it does require keeping an eye on my heart because it can have cardio, whatever symptoms. So if I'm only on it for a couple of weeks, and we need to keep an eye on it. Now, also, as a result of that ultrasound, not ultrasound, they did an ultrasound as well, as a result of the CAT scan of the abdomen. One of the most scary things for me, even though it's not an immediate issue, is they did see a mass in my right kidney, 1.2 centimeters long. That is suspicious. It requires follow up. Basically, I have to talk to a urologist. They got to keep an eye on it. Probably get another CAT scan in 6 months to a year. Possibly want to do a PET scan. They didn't have a PET scan at the hospital, or they would have done it. But yeah, so there's a chance, just a chance, that it could be cancerous. It could be nothing. So 6 months, a year, I get retested, and they see if it moved, if it grew, if it shrunk, if anything changes, and we go from we go from there. There's nothing today or tomorrow or a week from now I really need to do about it. But that one, there was some thought that they might have seen something on the lung as well, but as it turned out, they did a chest CAT scan next, and they said no, they don't think it's a thing. Another more serious thing, and was not an invasive test, is my blood gases. They check your blood from your artery, and they found that the amount of carbon dioxide in my blood is way high. It's double the maximum range of most tests. The first woman who took the test repeated it just to make sure that it was a valid reading, because she said, to be honest, most people with that number, especially somebody like her, they would be asleep on the floor if her number was that high. She was amazed that I had apparently acclimated to the number being so high that I was, able to talk with her and be so, wow. I promise you, in the hospital, I was doing a little better than I am now in terms of being able to remember and recall things. Talkative. I was, what's that word? Fluent. The point is, she was shocked that I was able to talk and form sentences and just do anything with the carbon dioxide in the blood at 81. 81, I think it's parts per something or milligrams per something. Normally that should be like under 40. And yeah. So that's something I got to watch. They say the way to get that down is to use the ventilator I have more often. Usually right now I only use it at night when I sleep. But they said, no, definitely use it during the day, nap. They say nap during the day and use it. And even if I'm just watching TV or something, put on the mask because that's going to be the way to get the carbon dioxide out of my system. Well, that's easier said than done. Got home. Well, first there was this giant to do to get my ventilator to the hospital because, I was told that if you go to the hospital, you don't have to bring your ventilator. They'll have one there that you could use. They'll set you up on it. Well, they didn't have one like I use. And we lost a day, a night. They set me up on a hospital CPAP machine instead. And it did probably more harm than good. Yes, coherent. That was the word. Thank you, Tej. Coherent. So that was a bad night. Then, so what the next Mama Pray had to go home, pick up my machine, bring it back to the hospital at like 10 o'clock at night. The hospital then has to approve your device. And of course, despite getting confirmation from a hospital administrator that they would absolutely be someone available to approve the device at 10 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock at night came, and the person who we thought was coming to approve the device said, well, you can't get approval to use it until morning. And we were like, we didn't say it, but we were like, fuck you. No. And they could see it in our eyes and our faces. And she finally reneged and said, okay. She's like, just for tonight, you can use it this one time. But in the morning, it absolutely needs to get approved before you use it again. So that was something we could live with. And I finally started getting some sleep. But the damage had already been done. Unfortunately, I had them retest the blood value a couple of times, and every day it was the exact same number, 81, which is suspicious since so many other blood values vary day to day, not by a lot, but by a little. I'm very suspect at this test, but it is what it is. Data points, all of them 81. So whatever. That's another biggie. So I have to follow up with pulmonologists and see what can we do to get that better. And then now, I'm on oxygen. In the hospital where they have, pure oxygen coming out of the wall, that when I was on one, that was plenty of oxygen. And my oxygen number was really good, like 97, 98%. When I came home and I have an oxygen concentrator, it's supposed to be the equivalent of oxygen, but it's not. And the oxygen was just closer to 90, 91 on the same setting as the real oxygen from the hospital. So I got to see what's going on with that. I might need a new oxygen concentrator. I don't know. But coming home on a national holiday was a bad choice because everything is closed. Everything today that we would normally use is closed. All the food in the house, expired. We went a whole week without groceries. So all our breads were expired. All the meats in the refrigerator, for the most part, were all expired. Any leftovers had to be thrown out. And Sassy would have loved it, but Sassy is still with Camille, who thankfully was able to take Sassy while we are out. Random Menace, you would be a great scuba diver. Well, scuba tanks actually are not pure oxygen. I know that much. I actually used a scuba tank many years ago. I was at so Dad O'Prey would know, random people and come home with random things. So one day he came home with a fully operating scuba tank. He's like, yeah, one of his friends said, oh, they had an extra one. So they gave it to him. I don't know what really happened, but whatever. We had a scuba tank. And so it had a weight belt and everything. So we went to 4th of July, actually, Independence Day. In those days, every 4th of July, we would go to my great aunt and uncles in Long Island, and they had this big, beautiful pool, in ground, diving board, water slide, really deep end, shallow, low end. And so we went there and they had the scuba tank. So I just took the tank, I put on the mask, and I took the weight belt, and I just sat at the bottom of the deep end of the pool for like, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, enjoying myself, looking around. So yeah, so that was my experience with a scuba tank. It turned out later that the guy who gave Dad the scuba tank, well, his best friend died because of a regulator from a scuba tank not working. And I mean, granted, he was on a much deeper dive. He wasn't 6 feet under the water. He was like, I don't know, 80 feet, whatever, however far down you can go. He had trouble and his regulator went and he ended up dying. So if I had known that, I probably would not have rushed to use the scuba tank, but it is what it is. So yeah. As for getting pure oxygen tanks, it's not easy here. You need to get a special prescription from a special doctor, and you have to set it up, a program. So that would probably take days, and at best, and certainly nothing's going to happen on 4th of July. So also, to be blunt, oxygen tanks is a lot of extra work for Mama Prey. She's the one who has to move them around, find a place for them, carry them from room to room when I need one. And they are heavy, and she's had to use them before. And if there's any way, I would rather buy a new oxygen concentrator, if maybe they have a better one or something, than force Mama Prey to be carrying heavy bottles of oxygen around the house. Anyway, so where else? What else? Other results. Stomach, they don't know exactly, again, they don't know exactly why I was having the problems I was having. The medication seemed to be working. I did get a little bit of my appetite back. I was eating burgers and pasta, chicken, and I was happy. They still wanted me to eat more calories. I never thought I'd be at a part of life where they were worried that I was too thin. They want me to gain weight. I always thought, oh, if anybody wanted me to gain weight, I just have Coca-Cola and bacon cheeseburgers and chicken fingers, and I gain weight quickly. But the reality is, when they want you to gain weight, it's usually because the thought of eating food like that just makes you sick. And I couldn't eat like that now if I wanted to. So they had tried to add in shores and muscle building powder to everything. It's just it's tough. Cut back on the uranium cakes, Lowell. Indeed. Hashtag Stonebird. JP says, Lowell, watch the shorts. Back, holy pupil dilation. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out for pupil dilation. JP says, nothing ruins the week more than being a hospital visit with people poking and prodding. To be honest, I enjoyed the testing because I had high hopes that the test would bring answers, but they just brought more questions. Like, I had an echocardiogram done. Now, the echocardiograms I've been getting done at home over the last 3 years have been telling me that I have extensive right side heart failure and moderate left side heart failure. But the echocardiogram this hospital did, and this hospital, St. Francis, of the Catholic Health System, which is the first time I've been to this particular hospital. But St. Francis is very well known for being an excellent heart hospital. So my cardiologist really is confused and really doubts that the hospital would get it wrong. So she's thinking that maybe the home visiting echocardiologist report has been wrong this whole time. And maybe my heart is good. Maybe it's recovered. But just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, I had the test at home and it said no, it was pretty much the same as last time they took it. So it was bad. I don't know. I really don't know. This time they did use a contrast dye to do it, so maybe they could get a better picture than the home visiting got. But I don't understand how two people can take pictures of the same organ and come to such vastly different interpretations as to what's going on. Deed says CAT scan, PET scan. Are they sending you to a damn vet? I wish. A little dog scan. Yvette, sending love. Thank you so much, Yvette. Todd Jenny says, tomorrow is never guaranteed, especially with your situation. We enjoy defying the odds with you every day, sir. Qapla. Qapla, Todd. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. No, Deej. I did not inform her I was Klingon. Holy crap. Melted copper. Happy 4th of July. Qapla, melted copper. I am probably off to bed. Been drinking, I guess those are mojitos, Tito's all night. God bless and hope you will get well soon, man. Thank you so much, Melted Copper. JP says, that's right. It's the 4th. America, us birthday party. Absolutely. Random Menace. the scuba diver. Tokyo Trekker. Hey, Bert. Hey, Tokyo. JP says typical bureaucracy. Melted Copper says hospital, lying, love milking, the dying with high rates and pretends feelings and other ads with dying cancer kids as if they aren't overcharging people on their deathbed, but out to help the people. Indie Tiger, you have to stop swallowing whole cans of soda. Indeed says you still have that can of Spam. That's true. Substance D, Qapla. Todd, Jenny, I'll set up the H2O2 generator. The rest of you, mine ice. Space engineers reference. 47 Yorktown, Qapla. Moko, thank you, Moko. Although I am Mako. Although I am back, although I am home, I'm not back yet. I don't have any regular streaming. I don't know when I'll be streaming. I don't know when I'll be on other people's streams, although I will be listening as I can. Again, just a repeat, please listen from the beginning if you just got here. But the short answer is I'm home, but me and Mama Pray are still so tired, and we need time. We need more time to recover. I don't know if we're talking a day or a week, but we need at least a day, maybe two. I don't know, maybe more. So please, I love you all, but if we can't keep responding to the individual requests. People message me, people message her, and not one, not two, not three, but on any given day, 6, 8, one day, at least 10 different people messaged me and her. Some only me, some only her, and some both of us. We just can't stop what we're doing and message you back. And for Mama Pray especially, who's only got her cell phone, and I only really had my cell phone too. But Mama Pray can't type on a cell phone. It literally takes her 5 minutes to type a 2-word reply. So if she missed you, I'm sorry. But, doctors are constantly coming in and out of the room. Sis Pray and nephew Pray call. And I need her at times. So she can't be responding. So just please, again, I will update people at the time when I can, stream or something like this. If need be, if it's just something quick, I'll put a post in the community tab. But if there's more to say, I'll just do a quick stream and let you guys know. Todd Jenny says electrolyte your own oxygen. Yes. I just need a hydrogen flare tower. How much oxygen is in Queens with the Canadian wildfires? It is not good. It is not good for the air quality. Um, exactly, JP. Exactly. Even the small ones are cumbersome. Yeah, Ensure is not the most pleasant drink. Deed says Ensure is for old people, like salty. Deed says we got at St. Francis in Peoria. They was the ones that did my heart surgery. Oh, awesome. And Captain says they make Ensure for young as well. Todd Jennings says your track memorabilia confused the senses.
I kept waiting for McCoy to come in, but he didn't show.
Well, I kept waiting for Dr. McCoy to come in, but he didn't show. He says a day, a week, a weekday. I'll be back when I'm back, basically. Tokyo Tracker says, Bird, rest well. Praying for you, my friend. Thank you, Tokyo. Indeed says, if you need a break from Sisopray calls, you can tell her to call me instead. Stanley says, Bird needs a media team. I don't know if I'd go that far. And LDG in the house says, morning, Bird. Good to see you online this morning. Good morning, LDG. So I'm trying to think. There were probably more results, but those were the big ones. I gotta figure out how to get this carbon dioxide out of my blood. I gotta deal with some follow-up appointments, which are extremely difficult. Like, okay, so going to the hospital, the ambulance service is this place called North Shore. No, called North Shore ambulances. Anyway, no Northwell, and they have like the newest ambulances, and like I was so impressed. It was so much more comfortable, and it was so big inside. I didn't feel cramped. It was the most comfortable ambulance ride I'd ever been in. And they're all electric now. Like the crew doesn't have to lift you into the ambulance. They just bring it. They bring the gurney right to the edge, and it's all electric. The ambulance, it attaches, it raises you up, it secures you in place, and the air conditioning is on, even though the ambulance is like not, and it was so comfortable. I was like, oh wow, this is such an improvement. And it was big inside. I wasn't cramped. But the ambulance you go home with is from another company. And that's the company that you would get if I called to get an ambulance to take me to a doctor's appointment. And this ambulance is the exact opposite. It's old and small, and I barely fit in it. And don't get me wrong, the people, they were great. but physically, my head was just an inch or two from hitting the ceiling. Now, at least it was padded, but way too close, very tiny, just the size of a converted van rather than a purpose-built ambulance. And it's really shitty compared to the fact that I know there are good ambulances out there, but you can't rent those. They're only for going to hospitals. It's ridiculous. Oiler Greg, hang in there. Thank you. Is it North Shore, the animal rescue place? There is a North Shore animal rescue. Deed says, what's your blood type? Okay, that was actually another thing. My blood platelets dropped low. They don't know why. They were still low when I left, but they were trending better. But again, now just hours before I was ready to leave, I ended up passing 3 large kidney stones. 3. So I have them with me. Can't let that Karoganite go to waste. But so I was pissing, and I'm still, unfortunately, urinating quite a bit of blood and blood clots. And it's, I don't know what. It's messing with systems. In fact, I've got to check it now. And it's okay. It's not as bloody. It's not as bloody.
You notice right after you got the bladder scan, when she was pushing on your bladder, while that was happening, then 3 minutes later, you passed the stomach. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
I don't think the bladder scan.
But she was pushing on that area. I don't know.
So there are so many. There are a lot of things. I guess we'll talk more at some point in the future. Deej sends hugs to Mama Pray. Thank you.
Please extend
Mama Pray says, please extend
my
her thanks,
my appreciation.
her appreciation to everyone. The D says, what's your blood type? AB positive. Random Menace says, you need CO2 scrapers. Divert the children from mining uranium to coal. Like a garbage truck. Asked Stanley. No, the ambulance? No. Ferengi cargo shuttle versus Federation medical shuttle. Exactly, Todd. D says should have just had them hook you up to a trailer hitch, and you could have been pulled home. Not the station wagon ambulance, but like a Ford van, like a full-size van. Jason Price says, hey, Bird, Good to see you're back home. Thank you, Jason. Yes, Karoganite. No, not the Ecto one. Thank you, JPs. Yes, I do need to get some rest. I definitely need to get rest. So I'm going to do that. Thank you all again. Real quick, I am home, but I am not yet ready to rejoin the YouTube community. And I please ask you guys, do not send personal requests for status updates. I will update you guys when I can. It's just too much for me and Mamo Pray to individually answer, 10, 15 people a day. And frankly, I tell somebody one thing, I tell somebody else something different. And like, I've already seen this happen. And people are like, well, I thought I heard this. And I was like, well, that was true 30 minutes ago when they asked. But then a new test came in and now something else is true. So I'm not going to go back and talk to everybody I spoke to before, and because I don't have time. I don't have time. So it's better like this. I'm sorry, but I'm sure you understand and appreciate the situation. Deed says, yes, both of you get rest. Now listen to your elder. And Stanley says, sounds like Ringo Starr. I get too much fan mail. Anything sent after this week will not be answered. I say this with peace and love, but too much fan mail. I've never heard of that, but I could understand, I guess. Although I certainly know Ringo Starr. But I do appreciate the well wishes. So thank you all. Qapla all. Bird out. But I hope to see you guys again soon. Take care.